Hey guys, it's Matt from Worship Bassist Tutorials. Today we're going to talk about the mindset a worship bassist should have before even picking up a bass guitar. This will help us understand our role on a worship team and whether or not what we're playing is positively contributing to the mix. Number one is simple. Learn your parts. Don't just go in there and wing it. The entire team has been practicing all week at home and listening to the original songs. If you play something different than what they're expecting, then they may have to adjust their parts. And if everyone has to adjust their parts on the fly, you end up with something that's less tight and more muddy. Also, the original recording artist probably spent hours going over parts and figuring out what would suit it best. If you disagree with one of the parts that was recorded, make a note of it and bring it up at rehearsal. Then the entire band can come together and decide what's best and adapt at the same time. And remember, rhythms are just as important as notes are, so make sure you're playing the right rhythms and stick with the kick. Number two, play less. This breaks down into two parts. Play less notes and play less often. When it comes to playing less notes, just try and stick with the chords to the song. Remember, the bass player is the foundation and the entire band depends on you as a reference for what the right chord being played is. So we need to make sure we play the chords to the song as much of the time as possible. I like to think about it like this. If we're the foundation and we don't play very many notes, the foundation is nice and flat and people have a really easy time walking across it. But if we play lots of notes and lots of fills, that foundation is going to be a lot rockier and people are going to have a lot more difficult time getting across that foundation and using it to support themselves. As far as playing less often, you don't need to play 100% of the time. For instance, during a low chorus, you can completely drop out, and when the intro or verse comes back in, you can come back in with the drums for maximum effect. This helps to introduce more dynamics into your playing. We need to make sure we let the music breathe a little bit, because it's all about building tension and releasing at the appropriate times. And number three, dial in your tone. You probably shouldn't be using the same settings for every song you play. For the most part, you should be adjusting your tone per song and adjusting your picking and plucking patterns. Remember, most of your tone actually comes from your fingers, and the way you play something actually has much more of an effect on the way something sounds than the pedals that you're using. If you're in something like a low chorus, you probably don't want to have high overdrive and use a pick. You probably want to have no overdrive and use your fingers and pluck close to the neck for a darker sound. But that dark tone doesn't necessarily work for a really high chorus that actually would be better with a pick and lots of drive. So make sure you adjust your tone accordingly. Picking the right tone is super important and can really give the sound guy something great and solid to work off of to build a great mix. Alright guys, those are my tips for providing a good mindset for a worship bassist. If you like this video, please share it. And if you have any other tips for a good worship bassist mindset, let me know in the comments. Thanks guys.